Good morning. Welcome to your Tuesday, September 11th, 10 a.m. weather briefing. Yesterday across the region, unseasonably warm conditions continuing through much of the area, at least especially down in the Tidewater region. 88 degrees, the warm spot at Newport News here at Wallops. We got up to a high of 81 degrees, 1 degree above normal this time of year. Baltimore was the coolest at 67 degrees. Here at Wallops, we got down to a low of 74 degrees. Some areas reporting some rainfall yesterday. Langley, Newport News, and Norfolk seeing a trace. Pax River had the most at 0.31 inches. Here at Wallops, we were mostly cloudy with a temperature of 80 degrees as of 9 a.m. Upper air winds from this morning showing southwesterly winds at the 1,000-foot level at 10 knots, and then winds rather benign from the 3,000 to 12,000 foot level. Then a steady increase as we get to the 25,000 foot level out of the southwest at 24 knots at our wind max at the 25,000 foot level. Freezing level this morning was at 14,900 feet. The current surface analysis depicting a warm front to our north, the cold front off to our west. This cold front will be approaching today and could be the triggering or the focal point for some isolated showers and thunderstorms across the eastern shore. We'll primarily see those chances between 1 and 6 p.m. this afternoon. And as you look off to our southeast, we do have Hurricane Florence, currently a Category 4 hurricane, continuing to churn just south of Bermuda. Forecasted track is still continuing, similar to what we had been mentioning yesterday, and through our various updates, has looked like we've adjusted our track just slightly southward with some updated model guidance and further model guidance as well, with the upper level ridge and high pressure system that's going to be developing to its north, which should help shunt this its northward progress more to the south, take it into the southern portions of North Carolina, maybe even into the northern portions of South Carolina. And we'll get into that just a bit. But as we go for the next 24 hours here, we'll have light south to southeasterly winds this morning, eventually picking up steadily at 7 to 12 knots. High temperature today expected around 85 degrees. See these low ceilings begin to degrade as we go throughout the morning. Currently, we do have a ceiling at 500 feet. We'll eventually lift to about 2,000 feet here in the next hour or so, and then eventually giving way to partly cloudy skies, especially this afternoon. And then we'll have a 20% chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm after 1 p.m. this afternoon, and that'll carry through about 6 p.m. with the cold front off to our west. Temperatures again getting up to around a high of 85 degrees, and then mostly cloudy skies overnight tonight with areas of fog getting down to a low of 74 degrees. Could see the potential for some dense fog developing across the area with half statute mile visibility heading into tomorrow morning. Again, a low temperature of 74 degrees. For our day on Wednesday, it'll actually turn out to be a fairly nice day, although warm and muggy, partly cloudy, warm and muggy with a high of 85 degrees. Wednesday night, partly cloudy with a chance of fog developing with a low of 75 degrees. And then on Thursday, see the impacts of Hurricane Florence begin to make their way into our area. Mostly cloudy skies and breezy with a chance of showers and a slight chance of a thunderstorm. We're going to have a high of 82 degrees. And again, we'll start to see those winds really ramp up throughout the day, with the best chances for those higher winds above the wind advisory criteria occurring later in the afternoon and evening. Looking at the 7-day forecast, again, Florence will be impacting our area with some of its outer rain bands and breezier conditions for both Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Could potentially see some lingering rainfall on Sunday as Hurricane Florence pretty much moves inland over the Carolinas and begins to rapidly degrade in intensity. Sunday, potentially again, we could see some light lingering showers across the area, but it will remain mostly cloudy with a temperature of 82 degrees. And then for Monday, much of the same, mostly cloudy with a high of 83 degrees. Taking a look at the tropics, Hurricane Florence, which again is a Category 4 hurricane right now, is undergoing called an eye wall replacement. Has weakened just a tad compared to what we had been seeing earlier this morning, but with these eye wall replacements, it typically will start to enhance in its strength as we go throughout the next several hours, and the eye will become more defined over the next several hours as well. It's not out of the question that this system could become a Category 5 hurricane for a couple of hours here today, heading into early tomorrow morning. But then we'll start to see some southwesterly shear really begin to increase within the next 24 to 36 hours, which will help to at least weaken the system a bit as it gets closer to the Carolina coastline. By the time it's right off the Carolina coast, could be a Category 3 to potentially a Category 4 hurricane at that time. National Hurricane Center, again, as of 8 a.m., was listing Florence as a Category 4 with sustained winds of 130 miles per hour with a minimum central pressure of 950 millibars. It's just due south of Bermuda at this time, and it has a west-northwesterly track moving at about 15 miles per hour. The forecasted track by the Hurricane Center still remaining right on point to go into Wilmington, North Carolina, and they have enhanced the cone of uncertainty just in terms of the impact areas of what could be potentially experienced in either the northern and southern ends. I'll show you the tracks here coming up, but a lot of the model guidance is starting to shift a little bit farther south, and we have adjusted our forecasted impact point between Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and Jacksonville, North Carolina, with Wilmington pretty much being that center point for a potential impact. And again, landfall is expected to be Thursday, late Thursday evening, as this system continues to slow. The forecast tracks from the various hurricane models, again, pretty much showing that impact right around Wilmington, North Carolina. Several of the models wanting to try and push it farther north, but that doesn't seem likely given the high pressure system that'll be off to its north, and as well as an upper level ridge. It's really going to be strengthening and will act to inhibit the northward trend of Florence, and should help to keep that south of the region. And also help in terms of the impacts that we'll be expecting here at Wallops with the track, with the forecasted track and impact point of where Florence will be. Even though it is projected that it could stall out for a while inland of the Carolinas, really not going to see too much of an impact here at Wallops. Really only expecting winds maxing out 35 mile per hour wind gusts potentially. Not out of the question that we could see some 40 mile per hour winds Thursday evening into the overnight hours on Friday, but 35 miles per hour is a more likely scenario. Sustained winds at about 20 and 25 miles per hour, and tidal anomalies of about 2 to 3 feet above normal beginning Friday and continuing into Sunday. As far as the flooding concerns, not expecting too much as of what we had experienced over the past weekend with the higher tidal anomalies thanks to the new moon and the prolonged easterly flow. And that's pretty much what we're going to be seeing with this system as well. Again, 2 to 3 feet above normal, so we'll see minor to moderate flooding across the coastal locations, both on the Wallops Island, Chincoteague, those areas. As you progress farther south, down into the peninsula and the southern tip of the peninsula and the Tidewater region and areas of northern North Carolina, that's where you're really going to start to see your major concerns for flooding begin to ramp up, as they'll be more exposed to those higher winds, higher onshore winds, and more prolonged onshore winds as well heading into this weekend. And then obviously the North Carolina region really going to be impacted with this. They could see upwards of over 2 feet of rain potentially, and with this system stalling out and tidal anomalies above 6 to 10 feet potentially, if not higher than that. So major flooding concerns for those areas. But again, here at Wallops, those impacts are really going to be lessened, especially with the tracks going farther south. Showing you just another look at some of the other models. This is the European ensemble tracks showing more of a southward trend going into south of Wilmington and into South Carolina, which is really what's helped to push our forecasted track. And I'm sure the National Hurricane Center too will also be adjusting as well as they start to look to be more of a farther south impact point with the potential that this could go into the as far south as Myrtle Beach, maybe even the South Carolina, North Carolina border would be a better bet. Then just looking at the intensity forecast, the models are underdoing this one just a tad. Again, with the eye wall cycle replacement that's ongoing, could potentially see this thing ramp up to a Category 5 hurricane over the next several hours, with its favorable environment that it will be going through, with the low amount of shear and deep warm waters that it will be going through. And then, like I mentioned earlier, the shear is expected to pick up in the next 24 to 36 hours, which we should start to see the strength of the of Florence begin to decrease. We will be sending out forecast updates here via email over the next this morning into the afternoon, and we'll continue to provide updates as necessary, and we'll continue to monitor Florence. And we'll have our next update in terms of the weather briefings 8:15 tomorrow morning, and then the extended outlook with your more in-depth look at the Hurricane Florence forecast tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Have a great day.